5 major problems with Drive, Ford's testimony that could ensure Kavanaugh gets the vote. The whole nation sat next to their TV yesterday to listen to the Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's testimony where she accused Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of a sexual assault. There were 2 types of people watching yesterday. Those on the right who tend to watch with an open mind and try to be fair, and those on the left are basically ruled by nothing more than emotion and their hate towards conservatives and the white American male. The same white American male who is responsible for the creation of our great nation but now seems to be branded as the evilest thing since the creation of Satan. Leaving aside all the left-wing hate, if you actually listened to Dr. Ford's testimony, you could not help but find at least 5 inconsistencies and contradictions. Here is more via PJ Media. 1. She still cannot confirm the basics of her account. She can tell everyone definitively that Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her, but she does not know when, where, who took her there or picked her up. She was 15, or pretty much anything of significance. She has no facts, no corroboration, no medical report, no police report. There is nothing but a claim from a woman with a bad memory and a story contradicted by all her own witnesses. At this point, there is not even any evidence that there was a party at all, much less that Kavanaugh was there or that anything happened between Kavanaugh and Ford. 2. There's the polygraph weirdness. Rachel Mitchell, a sex crimes prosecutor in Maricopa County, Arizona, who questioned Ford today, went out on what seems to be a strange tangent about the polygraph that Ford took in August. Surprisingly, it still prompted Ford to say a couple of very strange things. Ford said the polygraph was done in Maryland because of her grandmother's funeral, and she was asked if it was done on the same day as her grandmother's funeral. Ford did not know the answer to that question. Mitchell also asked if she paid for the polygraph, which would normally be quite expensive, and again, Ford said she does not know. If Ford does not have a clear memory of big events that happened to her last month, how can anyone be sure her memory of what happened 36 years ago is correct? Was Kavanaugh involved? You would not think someone could get confused about something like that, but you would also think someone would know if she spent thousands of dollars paying for a polygraph last month. 3. She could have testified in California. At one point, in response to Mitchell's comment about how this was not the best forum to explore her allegations, Ford agreed it would have been better if she could have testified at home without having to do this publicly in D.C., except she could have done exactly that. Not only was the offer made to her legal team, but there were also news articles about it. It was not a secret. So either Ford is lying, or perhaps worse yet, she really does not know what's going on and her legal team unnecessarily tossed her into the meat grinder for political purposes. 4. Ford's fear of flying is fake. Ford's own lawyers have been publicly claiming that she's too frightened to fly, and they have gone out of their way to say that she would not get on a plane because of the Kavanaugh incident. Because of that, they said she would have to drive cross-country to get to a hearing. Of course, she actually flew. Additionally, under questioning, she admitted she had flown to Maryland, Hawaii, and Tahiti. In other words, that was a bald-faced lie. If she is lying about that, what else is she lying about? 5. Her witnesses do not back up her account. In her initial letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein, Ford claimed that 4 people besides her were at the party. That number seems to change by the day, but let's go with her original claim. Those 4 people were Brett Kavanaugh and his friend Mark Judge, who she says were both in the room along with P.J. Smith and her friend Leland Ingham Kaiser. All of them have denied her story under the penalty of felony perjury, which begs an obvious question: whose house was the mystery party at? Are they all supposed to have been partying at someone else's house while they were gone? It makes no sense. It's even more damning that her friend Leland Ingham Kaiser says she has never even met Brett Kavanaugh. How do you square that circle? Kaiser has never met Kavanaugh at all, but she was at the party where Kavanaugh did this? Also, her best friend saw her run out of the party but said nothing? She did not ask her about it the next day? This single issue in and of itself completely destroys the credibility of Ford's accusation. The Democrat Party needs to pay for this farce in November. And in 2020. They found a woman who was victimized by someone apparently, but for some reason thinks it's a great idea to lie about it. Anyone who saw the testimony yesterday should be very worried if they have boys of their own, since we live in a day and age where someone who has so little credibility as Dr. Ford can actually come forward and drag an innocent man such as Judge Kavanaugh through the mud in the manner she has done so. Not many people have said this because they do not have the background in psychology to opine. But what is even scarier about this whole thing is the fact that a woman who seems as confused and conflicted as Dr. Ford is actually a doctor who has the qualifications to counsel other individuals. If the psychology field had any credibility, they would order a full investigation into what is wrong with Dr. Ford before she is allowed to continue counseling people.